Hey mathematicians, it's Justin again. Today my coworker showed me something fascinating about circles. She asked me to measure the circumference and diameter of different circles and divide them. She told me she could guess the answer for every circle, and she totally did. Now, I want you to give it a try. Think I could guess your answer every time? Okay, here are the circles. A strawberry candy, a chocolate truffle, and a pineapple cake. Divide the circumference by the diameter for each treat. I bet I can guess your answer for each one. 3.14. Pause to see the work for each circular treat. Why does that number 3.14 keep showing up? Well, that number is pi. Pi. No, not cherry pie or apple pie, but pi like this, Pi. In any circle of any size, dividing the circumference by the diameter always gives the same answer, pi. Wait, didn't we just get 3.14 every time? Why didn't I just say that? Well, pi doesn't actually stop at 3.14. What if our circumference is a long decimal, like 5.72839461520748, and our diameter is 1.823404464? Dividing them gives 3.1415925. See how 3.14 is just the start, but more digits follow without repeating or ending? That's because pi is an irrational number. The numbers after the decimal don't terminate or repeat. We use 3.14 as an approximation when we're performing calculations with pi. Rocket scientists and brain surgeons, though, they probably use more digits since their work is more sensitive. Hey, what's that symbol doing there? That's the pi symbol. Since pi is an irrational number that goes on forever, mathematicians use this Greek letter instead of writing all the digits. And since you're a mathematician too, you should use the pi symbol. Here, let's practice. Start with 2 vertical lines, and then add a flowy top. We use a symbol to represent pi, but it's not a variable. Pi is a constant because it always represents the same value. So, that thing my colleague showed me wasn't a magic trick. It's a cool math fact. If you divide a circle's circumference by its diameter, you get pi every time. Can we use pi to solve for anything else? We discovered that dividing a circle's circumference by its diameter equals pi. We can write this as c divided by d equals pi. But what if we want to find the circumference of a circle? Let's solve this together. Circle Y has a diameter of 85 inches. What is the circle's circumference? We know that c divided by d equals pi. We can substitute in 85 for d since that's the diameter. Formulas usually have the variable we're solving for by themselves, so we need to isolate c. Since c is being divided by 85, we have to multiply by 85 to isolate it. And we're left with c equals 85 pi inches. According to mathematicians, we can stop there. That's our final answer. The circumference is 85 pi inches. To find the circumference, we just multiply the diameter times pi. This formula can be used to find the circumference of any circle. However, sometimes 85 pi inches isn't exactly a useful answer. Let's do another practice problem and I'll show you what I mean. Jeremiah is making a costume and needs to draw circles with a diameter of 85 inches. How large will their circumference be in inches? Well, we solved this circle already, So Jeremiah needs to draw a circle with the circumference 85 pi. Huh? Trying to measure in pies does not make sense. So let's take it a step further and convert our answer from terms of pi to a numerical value that's easier to understand in this context. To do that, we substitute 3.14, our approximation for pi, in for the pi symbol. So we need to multiply 85 times 3.14, which is 266.9. Jeremiah's circles have a circumference of 266.9 inches. Always read the instructions to see if your answer should be left in terms of pi or expressed as a numerical value. Wait, doesn't the diameter have a relationship with the radius? Write out the relationship in your notes. Right, the diameter is always double the radius, and 2 radii equal 1 diameter. In our formula, c equals pi d, could we use 2 radii instead of the diameter? Definitely. Since 2 times the radius equals the diameter, we can replace the d in our equation with 2r. We rearrange so the coefficient goes first, and we have c equals 2 pi r. So if we're given the radius, we can calculate the circumference by finding 2 times pi times the radius. Let's do example 4 using this new formula. We have 2 formulas to find circumference. C equals pi d for when we're given the diameter, and c equals 2 pi r for when we start with the radius. What if we're given the circumference and asked to find the radius or the diameter? We can do that using the same formulas. Sharisha is making a circular bracelet with a radius of 6 centimeters. What's the circumference in centimeters? We need c equals 2 pi r to start since we know the radius. Replace the r with 6 and start calculating. We need a numerical answer in centimeters. What's the first step? The first step is to substitute 3.14 in for pi since our answer is in centimeters. Now we can multiply from left to right. 2 times 3.14 is 6.28. That gives us c equals 6.28 times 6. And 6.28 times 6 gives us a circumference of 37.68 centimeters. A circle's circumference is 9 millimeters. What's the diameter in millimeters rounded to the nearest tenth? Since we're interested in diameter, we start with c equals pi d. This time, instead of replacing d, we replace c, since we know the circumference is 9. So it's 9 equals pi d. We need to isolate d, so we divide both sides by pi. That leaves us with 9 divided by pi equals d. We'd stop here if the instructions said to solve in terms of pi, but they've asked us to round to the nearest tenth. So we'll divide 9 by 3.14 and round to the nearest tenth. Do that now. 9 divided by 3.14 is 2.9 millimeters. It's similar when finding the radius starting with a circumference. Just use c equals 2 pi r instead. You try this one. A circle's circumference is 12 inches. What is its radius in inches rounded to the nearest tenth? Solve this problem now. Starting with c equals 2 pi r, we substitute 12 in for c. Now the equation is 12 equals 2 pi r. We replace pi with 3.14, then multiply 2 by 3.14, which results in 12 equals 6.28 r. We divide everything by 6.28, and we get 1.9 inches equals r. The radius is 1.9 inches. This new job is teaching me more than just candy making. A simple chat with a coworker led to discovering that dividing any circle's circumference by its diameter gives pi. And from that, we figured out the circumference formula. c equals pi d. And since we already knew the parts of a circle, we created another formula for when we have the radius. C equals 2 pi r. Well, let's talk about pies. Me in the mood for a slice. I'm gonna go get one. But in the meantime, finish your notes, complete the formula reference sheet activity, and do practice levels 1 and 2. Until next time, keep questioning, keep calculating, and remember, pi is endless, just like the possibilities with math. See you next time.
Hey, hey.